What is up, dudes? It is I, Seraphic Ninja, and right now let's talk about Battlefield 4's DAO-12 shotgun, which stands for Double Action Only 12 Gauge, and directly refers to the weapon's operation and caliber types. It would be sad if I didn't cover this weapon before they remove it on the next Battlefield game, since they don't always keep the same weapons in the game that released from their franchise series. And I'll never forget the time that I hit rock bottom after finding out that the M27 IAR wasn't available on Battlefield 4. But maybe they'll bring it back on Battlefield 5, who really knows, right? Crossing my fingers. But anyhow, the DAO-12 is a relatively easy weapon to unlock in the game, as it requires only reaching rank 10, raising the security gate on Caspian border map, and requires 6 shotgun kills to earn a nice little shotgun ribbon. And after accomplishing these tasks, you get this semi-automatic revolver-like shotgun with a short barrel and large magazine capacity. One of the highest, in fact, when it comes to shotguns, which is one of the weapon's key strengths, right next to the UTS-15, which holds 14 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. With an ergo equipped by default, coupled with widespread shots due to its short barrel, the DAO-12's other major strength involves allowing any user to clear rooms and hallways with ease. It's capable of one-shot kills at close quarters distances and shoots about 220 rounds per minute. Pretty cool, huh? The recoil is very mild and only increases slightly with rapid use. After trying the weapon out in a few tactical approaches, I found it to my advantage to never really aim in or focus in on the sights and simply hip fire the weapon, which meant I had to avoid as many distant enemies as possible and close in on them through tactical approaches, which ultimately comes down to being one of the weapon's key major weapon disadvantages, the distance. So tactics like using the objects in the map for cover and staying close to the walls, essentially avoiding open areas in general, need to be firmly followed. And these are simple, no-brainer military tactics, but it's not the same when you've got a rifle in your hands that can effectively return fire for inflicting damage or cause vision impairment to that long-range target and essentially counter them effectively. No, things change with shotguns. As I've had many occasions, I found myself helpless in situations where I spawn on squad mates who find cover for some reason in a random open area and leave you to join their sad fate when they get spotted. No, but that doesn't happen in Battlefield 4, so it's cool, right? Wrong. So anyway, with the DAO-12, when you're close enough to the enemy, it isn't hard to overwhelm opponents with semi-automatic pellet spread devastation, as even the missed rounds cause great suppression on the enemy, essentially throwing his sight picture and sight alignment off. And shots that hit obviously weaken or kill, so you really kind of win-win, even if you have your monitor turned off and are playing blind. Just kidding. It's as far as accuracy goes for shotguns, it's debatable as to whether or not skill is actually involved. I should really honestly warn you about the potential harassment you might earn yourself when using this weapon or any shotgun in the game. I say this because I've noticed on the chat box comments that people don't really like to be killed by them. So you're gonna be called a noob afterwards. But then again, hey, this applies to almost every weapon in the game for some reason. I think many can agree on that, won't you? But another drawback from this weapon anyway comes from one of its key strengths actually, which is weapon capacity. Because of the way the weapon is built with a cylindrical feed and the way it reloads, which is one shell at a time, obtaining a full reloaded magazine requires a ridiculous amount of time. Although you'll have 0 rounds available and see your character shove around in that chamber, the round doesn't actually become instantly available to fire, as it doesn't account for the time that it takes to manually revolve the drum magazine, which counts for like double the time that it takes to reload per shell. But don't start thinking that you're gonna be hiding in dark corners for long whiles just to reload your weapon so that you can then again come out of the shadows to repeat another short pellet firing session. No sir, What's pretty convenient about the reload drawback actually is that you can still continue to run and gun while reloading, since you can fire in between the reloading process. Currently, the attachments that I find myself most comfortable with when equipping on the DAO-12 are the full choke, which works to significantly tighten up those shots, the shot spreads, to improve that accuracy on far distant targets, although it penalizes you slightly with stability and hipfire weapon points. The weapon overall, it excels at hipfire, and its potential can only be further increased when it comes to hipfire, and if you equip that laser sight. But don't forget that this can also give your position away easier. So personally, I just take them off, but it's your choice, you know. It's up to you. For weapon ammo, the default 12 gauge buckshot rounds or the 12 gauge dart work really well for getting kills that can take anywhere from 1 to no more than 4 shots for the kill. Overall, this weapon ranks anywhere from OP to overkill and excels at close quarters combat, but can also make you feel like you're wearing a diaper if you're being suppressed with fire and you're left with no cover, since firing back to counter far targets is essentially futile, or futile, whichever sounds cooler to you. An interesting and silly combination that might be worth trying is using slug rounds with a medium powered scope to take on those long distance targets. Maybe like the 3.4 times magnification scope or a 4 times zoom. I might try that if it works out well, and just for shits and gigs, why not? Hey, but yeah, guys, we quickly went over the major advantages and disadvantages of the DAO-12 that's available in Battlefield 4. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Yeah, boy!